We're going live, hot mic.
Going low, right over the border, 20,000 more.
We'd train them, pay them for 5 years, and then they'd all leave.
Mr. Buckley? How are you?
Oh geez, is that out there, Frank? Sorry.
I didn't know we had check presentations tonight. I've been out fighting for no override. We didn't pass.
Here's the chair.
Not too much better. Oops, sorry.
I steal your pen for a second.
It's still one of your pens.
Felt. Yes. Thank you.
I gotta sign these, otherwise I'd be happy to give you my pen. You get these?
Two checks.
Great.
You get those.
Yes.
Thank you. Still my felt pen.
No, he's got a few this one, so.
All right, we are
We're live.
live and we are recording. Call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Please be advised that this meeting is being broadcast live on YouTube at the County of Plymouth YouTube channel. It is also being recorded for distribution and potential playback to the various local access channels in Plymouth County, and it is my understanding that almost all of them are broadcasting this now, which is nice. First time on the agenda, we have burn grant check presentations to the City of Brockton and the Town of Plymouth. We have Chief Perez from the City of Brockton and Chief Flynn from the Town of Plymouth. Happy to have you folks here this evening. The burn grant is something that I think we're proud to be able to do on behalf of both of your communities. Frank and Nancy in our office do all of the real legwork for that, so certainly we can't take any credit for it, but every year we're dutifully filling out the information to get these dollars in for your communities. So I don't know if anybody has anything to say or add. If not,
I just think Brockton's always on our list, aren't they? Yes.
yes. Yep. So, all right, well, without further ado, I think you can have Chief Flynn and then we'll have Chief Perez. How's that? Or we can have Chief, we'll let you guys arm wrestle. Just make sure I get the right one there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
great, it's great.
You want to get in for a photo op?
Yeah.
Hey, you can come back here. We'll,
Sure.
you know, as I quip, our records go all the way back to the Pilgrims, so we need,
One chair.
we need something to prove we were here,
Oh, yes.
and that we did something.
Thank you so
Great.
much for coming in.
Thank you. Excellent, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And got two checks for 2 different years,
Appreciate you very much.
Thank you for being here.
thank you, over $30,000.
Correct.
Great, great,
Thank
chief.
you, thank you, Frank.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Team is fantastic. And you had the longest commute to get here too.
For a change.
Right, exactly. And Chief Perez, we had almost $150,000. This is 2 years worth of work, predominantly digital radio upgrades. Great. For the City of Champions. Fantastic, very good.
Thank you,
All right,
and I appreciate the long-term partnership and Frank's assistance. Thank you.
Sure,
We
thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks for taking a ride.
It's really good to you.
Motion.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, we have minutes for June 5th, 2025.
Motion so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Executive minutes acceptance for November 9th, 2023, January 4th, 2024, April 4th, 2024, April 25th, 2025, June 6th, 2024, and June 20th, 2024.
Motion so moved. I
Motion,
believe I
Commissioner
was
Wright.
there at all of them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the rule of necessity will
Yep.
allow you to motion and vote regardless.
Yep.
Motion by Commissioner Wright,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hanley. I assume that these won't be released until all matters pertinent to them are settled, or all matters settled in these?
All matters are settled in these, Chair.
Okay,
We look at them biannually, and anything that is cleared and is not in litigation or discussion or contract negotiations, we clear those executive minutes.
perfect.
We'd still have a couple of outstanding ones from recent, but these are all for public consumption now.
Very good, okay. Motion and second being made, all in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve CPS form Cheryl Meakin, promoted to full-time 4-H program, Tia Quinn promoted to administrative assistant A&P and HRIS, Lynn Reynolds retirement, and department head index compare, and Evelina Teixeira correction of typo. Do I have a motion?
motion so moved.
Motion Commissioner Wright, second Commissioner Hanley, Mr. Basler.
I just wanted to state that Tia Quinn's promotion is effective August 13th, which is the day after Tammy Career is retired.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? That's a vote. I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve vendor vouchers.
Motion so moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second Commissioner Hanley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
Make a motion to accept and approve payroll vouchers.
Thank you. Motion Commissioner Wright,
Make a
second Commissioner Hanley. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Motion to vote in county employee vacation carryover.
Second.
Mr. Basler, there's a motion and a second.
Yes, no, they don't have to read that. I just wanted to clarify that all personnel follow the procedures and protocols of our policies in vacation turnover. There is one person that does follow the procedures, but has a very high number because she's been on workers' comp. So she hasn't been able to utilize any vacation. She has 276 hours on carry forward. But that's all, that is within policy, but that's why you might have noticed that big number. Everything else is under 2 weeks and within compliance of policies.
Okay. All right, any discussion? All that being said, motion and second being made, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to vote and declare items from the registry of deeds inoperable of no value and available for disposal. Oh, wait a
That's
minute.
red
I
vote.
think did I?
Nope,
go
you are
ahead and vote?
correct.
Okay,
Perfect.
I would have stopped you otherwise.
yeah, I know. I was like, did I go one ahead?
Yep.
I
At a
usually-
regular
I
meeting
usually
held
check
at the
them all.
Plymouth County Commissioners holding at Plymouth on the 26th day of June 2025 AD, voted to declare the following items as surplus. The items are inoperable and no longer usable to Plymouth County Registry of Deeds and will be disposed of as presented, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Hanley, second Commissioner Wright. Any discussion or questions?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Okay, motion vote pricing for 2026 vehicle decreases from Colonial Motor Group Dodge for the commissioner's vehicle bid.
At a regular meeting of the County Commissioners holding at Plymouth on the 26th day of June 2025 AD, voted to approve the addition and pricing of the following vehicles manufactured by Dodge Chrysler Jeep Motor Company to the current Plymouth County Municipal Vehicle Bid Dodge Chrysler Jeep number 2023-2026 awarded to Colonial South Automotive Inc., DBA Colonial Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 42 State Road, Dartmouth, Mass. The 2026 Dodge Durango PPV AWD V6 2BZ-V6 for $41,327, and the 2026 Dodge Durango PPV AWD V8 22Z-V8 for $44,327.
Very good. Do you have a question?
Chair, I just wanted to say,
Mr.
these are significant double-digit decreases in the cost. And again, as we talked about last time, the Detroit manufacturers are incentivizing cars again because they're not moving as quickly as they used to, and the inventories are built back up.
Great, okay. Motion by Commissioner Hanley and seconded by Commissioner Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's a vote. Okay. Of course, I put that over the agenda. ARPA, Treasurer O'Brien.
I didn't know, Chair, if you wanted to take the register out of order and then we can do ARPA and treasurer. Okay.
We appreciate that you're matching this evening.
We did our best. You didn't get the memo? You did,
No.
okay.
Oh, well, obviously I
Greg
didn't.
did on the pants. Good evening, Commissioners. As you know, we had a presentation in Abington earlier this week. Went exceedingly well. They were grateful for the ARPA funding. In fact, the Commission received a nice and appropriate round of applause for your hard work and efforts. We're continuing to get money out the door. We have a few more presentations that you folks are aware of on the schedule. We have one bill in front of you today for the administrative costs, and then we'll see if money's get returned. We did get word today that two communities are not going to spend all of their money in one particular project. The returns will be minimal, but we have a mechanism to reappropriate that money to towns that might have space if that money comes back and it's appropriate. So we'll keep you posted on that front.
For you, Mr. Chairman, just a question of the treasurer.
Sure.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it to Hanover today. What was the amount that Hanover received today? The
I'm going to defer to the chair because, and again, this was kind of a
$492,032.79 for, I believe, a handful of.
yes. Yeah,
It was more than one submission.
Oh, so that was a combined
That was a
total,
combined
was.
total.
that's why I didn't have the number right off the top.
and you were able to do that before the July 1?
We did before the end of the fiscal year.
On behalf of the residents of the town of Hanover, I want to thank you for doing that.
Welcome, yeah.
So,
I know the
Appreciate it.
treasurer was very happy to get the checks.
thank you.
Thank you.
And I will note that we do this at the pleasure and for the benefit of every resident of every community in the
Yes.
county.
Yes, we do. So you do have one vote in front of you on ARPA. If you should take that vote, we can continue to move along.
Pursuant to the terms and conditions of the American Rescue Plan Act, the Plymouth County Commissioners grant disbursement of funds held and administered through the Plymouth County Opera Program as follows. Payment to County of Plymouth in the amount of $38,780 for administrative support.
Second,
Motion, Commissioner Wright, second Commissioner Hanley, all in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay.
I did have one question.
On
before-
ARPA?
No, before we get into ARPA.
Well, we're in ARPA right now.
Okay,
Is it on
No, is
ARPA or
it-
is it on something else?
he had mentioned about, when he asked you what the price of what the
Amount for
check was, yeah,
handouts.
that was, you had said that there was another set of, monies that was coming in that wasn't being used, maybe?
Yeah, so we just got, so as you folks know, we
Yep.
put out all the money.
Right,
Some of those projects are 2 or 3 year projects.
right,
Towns that don't spend all the money need
Right.
to return that money to the county,
that's correct.
and it can be reapportioned to those communities that submitted overages.
But I thought we already did that.
So we did, but
Okay.
towns are now finding out, and this is gonna happen. So don't forget, this program runs until 2027.
Right,
It's
right,
gonna run until March of 2027. So
okay,
we expected this to happen.
Yep.
When money comes back in, we have another vehicle to put that out, because why? The number one mandate I have is not to return any money to
right,
US Treasury. So
absolutely,
the very clever rubric we came up with was this overage obligation. So that if monies came back, we had a place to send the money, because the rules were very obtuse. And that they said that every dollar had to be obligated by December 31st, 2024. How are you gonna do that?
can't,
How are you gonna spend money if it comes back? I think the US Treasury was expecting that if money came back, it would go back to the US Treasury. But what we were able to do was obligate above and beyond the amount that was available.
mhm.
So that money came back, we had a place for it to go.
By the deadline.
Unless they move the deadline back, right?
Yeah, so I can't see that happening at this point in time. In
Okay.
fact, there seems to be when you say move the deadline back, I thought you meant that they might move it out. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, if
No,
they
move it back.
we're still in a fairly good place. Again, because we obligated all the money by the deadline.
Okay,
So we're in a good position, I think better than most. Other counties in Massachusetts followed our lead. And so while if another governmental entity anywhere in the United States gets money back, they have to send it back to the treasury.
okay,
We don't, because we have this additional allocation again.
okay. I thought originally it was December 26th, but no, it's,
It was December 31st, 2024,
okay,
but that was to have it obligated. See, and
yeah, I know,
and I apologize because sometimes it's difficult to explain because the rules are arcane. You had to have it obligated by December 31st, 2024, but you didn't have to have it spent until December 31st, 2026.
right,
Okay, so how do you deal with a situation where your cost of your project is X, let's say 150,000?
Yeah.
You do the project, and on December 1st, 2026, you get a bill for 140,000.
right,
Now you have $10,000 left over.
Right.
That would normally have to go back to the US Treasury. But what we did was we created additional obligated
mhm,
approved applications that you folks voted for on December 31st.
right,
That we could spend that money on those applications.
that's right. I remember that, yeah,
Okay, so that's a situation we've allowed ourselves to be in so that we can spend
Right.
every penny.
okay,
It's not many people figured out a way to do that. So the advantage, and this is why the town is very grateful for administration of this project, we thought of things like this. In most instances, that money has to go back. So one state got $25,000 back, I think. That had to go back to the US Treasury because they have no other place to put it,
to put
because they
it,
didn't obligate it as of December 31st,
right,
2024. Can't obligate that. It's too
Right.
late.
okay, great,
Okay,
Question with that.
Sure.
I don't mean to ask you this off the top of my head, but it's coming off the top of my head. So in those instances where money is being returned, what do you say to a community who has cost overruns that have nothing to do with the obligation date, but now have a shortfall in what they had estimated? And I can tell you this firsthand because I do a lot of public work, that these tariffs and unforeseen conditions are out there. So just say, as an example, there's $1 million project out there. And then when you go to execute that contract, it comes in at $1.2 million. Does a community then have to come up with that additional 200,000? And if they can't, do they return the $1 million?
So the answer to the first one is yes, the answer to the second one is no. So to explain it in a sentence, if they have the overage, they have to cover that differential. But they do not have to return the $1 million because they spent it on the project.
Correct.
So it doesn't have to go back. Okay. But I do believe there will be situations where that happens.
There absolutely is.
And towns are going to have to figure out a way to pay that differential. Again, the advantage of the rigorous part of our program was we asked them to consider all of that. So all of them have signed contracts. Now, I know that there could be overages above and beyond that, but so far what we're seeing, we haven't seen a single overage yet. Doesn't mean we won't. We've only seen people come in under the contract. So we do have contracts.
Within our oversight team, the professionals, would we be able to seek guidance from Mintz Levin or whoever the appropriate oversight would be on a shortfall to give guidance maybe to those communities? Because I can tell you firsthand, it's happening. I just went to a purchasing conference down in Sagamore, and I brought this to the Inspector General's attention that I have jobs that I sell into the public domain that have cost overrides that were unforeseen. Now, their projects are bonded. Okay, now how do you, as the Inspector General, allow procurement to then continue because these are unforeseen conditions? And that was one of those ones that he wrote it down, and they're gonna hopefully provide guidance to member communities that.
Yeah, our team wouldn't be the appropriate ones to ask because ours is upper related and the.
No, I'm just saying, in respect to the projects that are out there are experiencing cost overruns. So all those ARPA eligible projects are going to be subject to those conditions because it's market rate, market value at the time of bid. And when you go out and estimate a job based on, what your process was, you come up with a figure, you give that to the bonding company and they issue that amount of credit. Now, if it is cost overruns, what is the guidance that we would be giving? Would be your contracted amount, well, your contracted amount is safe.
Yes,
That's basically
But we
the,
particularly cannot
message.
give guidance above and beyond that and should not.
Hmm.
Not, that is not.
no, I'm not seeking additional funds. I'm saying
No, I
if
know, but
a
we-
community abandoned the project,
Yeah.
what happens then? That's the question.
Well, so if they, that's a different question. If the community abandoned the project, they have to send the money back.
Right. So then
But the law is very.
does the Plymouth County clause then kick in on redistribution of those funds if it's returned in that manner?
Yes,
Okay, that's the clarification. of it.
yes, but it wouldn't go to that community.
No, go into that
Right.
pool of applicants that
Correct.
were previously obligated.
Correct.
Okay.
Because we have had some confusion from a community that was under, sent the money and wants to apply it to something else. Or more confusing, an ARPA project that they started with their own ARPA money. They cannot do that with our money. Only be for projects we obligated that you folks voted on prior to December 31st, 2024.
Thank you.
Yes.
Or
But
even,
again, credit to our program for thinking of these things, because a lot of people hadn't anticipated some of these challenges. But we did.
Thank you.
even if somebody, for you, I'm sorry.
Sure.
If a town got money, which I think we might have had this happen, and then they changed the project to something else, they had to return it to us.
Yes,
Yes,
and we absolutely had that happen.
yes.
Yep.
I know, okay,
And the reason we did is because that's what the law says.
that's right,
Again, I worry about, and this is, I don't want to confuse the issue, but in case you get asked, because a lot of communities ask us these questions. They may have done that with their own money. And so unfortunately, I do worry because they're not supposed to just move from project to project,
right,
right?
they
So
shouldn't,
They shouldn't. We don't let them.
right,
And so that's another advantage of our program. We make sure everybody follows the rules
mhm,
so that nobody gets into any situation where they inadvertently overspend or
right.
inadvertently don't have the money they need through our.
Well, you couldn't follow the paperwork if they did that. All the money,
Yeah. And that's the benefit of the paperwork we requested up front.
makes sense,
It does.
good,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you, Treasurer O'Brien. Registers report, Mr. Buckley. Oh, did you have more on ARPA?
Well, no, I was just gonna do the treasurer's report in between, but that's fine.
No, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
They called you?
Get your steps.
Yes. That's why I was gonna have you go first.
We should maybe reorder these things.
Hello again, everybody. Coming to another end of a fiscal year, 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So we recorded about 3,500 more documents than last year. Small increase, but significant. We're coming in at about 500,000 higher than our estimates, as we mentioned before. And continue to move forward. Other than that, looking to close out the year and give out the final check at the end of June and put the fiscal year in reverse.
Very good.
Yes,
Any questions for the register?
I do, actually. So John, would you say
Commissioner
3,500 additional?
documents.
Okay, and was that,
Mostly, actually, believe it or not, more mortgages than deeds, more in mortgages.
rather than you refis or straight mortgage?
Well, they had to be refis because they weren't purchase mortgages.
So with respect to that, you had unfilled positions last year.
Yes.
And the staff you had remaining, were all of your people able to take their requisite vacation time, sick time, and personal time? Or are we gonna be expecting some sort of
No, except
extension?
for the allowed carryover.
So nothing in addition to that? Okay, all right, thank you.
Certainly appreciate the effort of everyone. Turning that surplus, looks like that's gonna hold firm and it'll mean we won't have to use stabilization to plug those gaps, which I think is thank you, which
That's
is a
big.
good which is a good thing. I think it's put us in a position where we have a good structure in place that allows us to maintain the operations of the county, and I think we're in far better shape than a lot of our friends in municipal government. So I give thanks to the register, the treasurer, and everybody else that worked very hard to get us to this position, so all is good. All right, Mr. O'Brien, Treasurer's report.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were going to say Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Treasurer. I just wanted to follow up on your comments. You folks deserve a lot of credit for the fiscal responsibility that you have exercised over the last 11 years. And as we travel around and see the challenges that towns are facing, and we certainly can sympathize and empathize, one of the advantages of what you folks did in 2014 was project out 10 years and say, we see these challenges coming. We need to make decisions now to put us in a position today. And you see the results of that, which is we've eliminated the structural deficit. We have resources at our disposal. We've made hard choices, but good choices to put the county in good fiscal shape. You guys deserve a lot of credit for that. It's hard as the front face of the group, as the executive branch of the group, to put aside some projects you want to do or face some of the challenges to be fiscally responsible. So a lot of credit is deserved by the three of you and some of your predecessors.
Thank you.
You know, I just wish other towns would look into the same, you know, I mean, I think that they are really struggling what they're doing and how they're looking forward into, you know, what they're going to be looking at. I just really thank you because you twisted our arm, so you made us stay in rightful form here, and I'm glad that we did. So really, the credit, as I was trying to say, is as the credit is, it really goes back to you.
Well, thank you, and I think the chair and I had a couple of meetings today. I think towns are beginning to realize that they have to plan out
Yeah,
5, 7, 10 years.
And I'm
They
not
just
seeing
look
it.
out 1 year. We're starting to maybe see a little bit of it. We hope it's a, you know, it's a message I try to deliver wherever I
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But we at least set a very good example.
Mhm.
Okay,
I handed out the the May report for the Plymouth County OPEB Trust. Simply because it's just incredible how successful this program has been. And we had another great month, single month performance of 3.62%. Our annualized return over 5 years is 10.29%.
Mhm.
So that's each year. Now, the market has rebounded and done well, but that's over a 5-year fairly rocky period. The average we're seeing is about 7%. So you're 300 basis points above that, or we are collectively with that performance. And that inures a significant benefit to us. So to Plymouth County, of that resource that we now have $3.997 million, I can tell you that $972,000 of that is earnings and interest. So almost 25% is earned since we started this program. So again, I know the employees and the retirees appreciate that. Sometimes don't get recognition for those kind of decisions, but we're in great shape and great performance, and we have 34 members and hopefully more coming every month.
sure. Any questions?
The only other thing, the deputy treasurer apologizes that he could not be here. The first thing I'm supposed to do is double check with you back notes so that I don't miss anything. To make sure that you received an email and have signed the North Shore Community College contract.
Yes,
that came to
I
you.
only got an email alerting me that one was coming, but never received,
Was it
It
a
was not
DocuSign?
part of that email.
right.
not from
I
what
don't
I could
think-
tell. I received an
Like a
email.
DocuSign document?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know.
No, I received an email informing me that I should expect an email for my signature. I never received an email for my
That's the one I
signature.
received.
Yeah.
Is
Okay, so
one
you have not
missing.
received a.
No,
All right, I will report that back. You should have. Please keep an eye out for it. Just a reminder, you did vote to authorize that to be signed,
Right,
but the deputy felt that North Shore Community College got ahead of itself and sent the emails out. Maybe they've caught it and won't send them out, but we'll get
yeah,
it posted.
either way.
Good news, through a lot of effort, we will be presenting to you, or I will be presenting to you, a contract with Mass Maritime to
Ooh.
join our parking program. They will become our 45th member. They are the 5th state agency. I have 3 copies that need hard signatures because every party will need one. And so I would ask you to do that. But we had Mass Maritime surrounded. So they were very glad to take join the program. So I'll give this to the chair. And if you folks could vote and sign that, that would be great.
I will entertain a motion
Motion so
to,
moved.
Second.
Yeah.
all in
As
favor?
indicated, yep.
Aye, that's unanimous.
Chief Slattery's still down there, correct?
I don't know who the deputy was dealing with. You could look and see who's signing on that contract.
Rear Admiral McDonald.
I do believe we were dealing
President.
with the Rear Admiral directly. They were very excited about the program, and envisioned some, not only significant cost savings, but some revenue generating, they will be able to turn it around quicker.
Having paid my fair share of fines down there, I'm now glad that
Oh, shame on you.
my son went
I
there.
could have given you my parking space.
Mass Maritime?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's all I have, unless there are any questions.
no, I think we're good.
Great.
All right, maintenance and administrator, Mr. Basler.
So for our maintenance report, Chair, just highlighting two of the bigger projects we have going on right now. 32 Belmont Street is running a couple weeks behind. We're waiting on security screening for the rear back alley windows. But that should be done later in July. And that is project, everything else is working out great. It looks amazing. I'll have pictures of the completed done project at an upcoming meeting. The second is Brockton Superior Court Session 1, the full renovation, ceiling, walls, rug, along with HVAC and some electric upgrades, starts tonight. So that's going to be a 3-week process. The superintendent's doing an amazing job with the team, and this is a energy procurement, energy improvement procurement under 25A, and will be paid for through our monthly billing based on the savings that we're making each month. So it'll our overall bills will stay the same, but we'll get this improvement all paid off. So phenomenal stuff there. For the administrator's report, I want to hand out, we just received yesterday our updated policy. Our updated policy. In our premium renewals. So we have total policy increase of about 10% over last fiscal year. The great news is that we foresaw this. We actually thought it would be a little bit bigger increase based on our conversations with our team members in the other counties. They're seeing 15% increases. We were lucky, we have a great partner, and we were able to cap it at the 10%. But the good news is our budget covers this amount, and we are in good shape there. We'll proceed with renewing. Our new year starts July 1. So this is a big project that Tammy does a great amount of work on, and we now have all the binders completed for us.
Well, and given our claims history, especially with the flood, this is
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, one of the
too
challenges.
shabby given that.
Yeah.
So for those that know insurance a little bit, we have a 215% premium surcharge.
Right.
Because of claims over the last couple of years. So the fact that we're still in the general profile pool
Mhm.
and that it only went up 10% is a huge win for us.
Sure.
And again, we work with Hill Group out of the Cape. They're a national firm. We go to other firms to make sure we're getting the best pricing, and Hill comes in and absolutely shatters that pricing each and every year.
Great. And we thank Tammy for her effort on that too.
Yes.
I will. Next is, we did have our county administrators meeting a week ago Monday. Each of the county administrators we actually hosted. They came here. That was probably the crumbs, although that was, I thought I wiped the table. But we had our focus points were courthouse rent contracts and project financing and logistics, along with some other minor points that we discussed. All the administrators were here. Unfortunately, John Cronin was not able to make it due to a last minute emergency, but it's a very value added group that gives us a bunch of great ideas that we can immediately turn around and start implementing. So that was a phenomenal meeting. Next is the update on hiring and training of our administrative assistant, AP, Human Resource Information System. So that is Tammy Correa, as you saw in today's CPS forms, and we knew from before. Tammy's retiring after 25 years of backboning our organization. She is last day is August 13th, I'm sorry, August 12th. And then Tia Quinn, who's a current team member and has been with us almost 5 years, is joining our team to take Tammy's place. I'd like to thank the treasurer and his team. They actually have had the pleasure of working with Tia over the last couple of years. She is a highly qualified, very intelligent woman, and where the treasurer was excited that she had this opportunity to really take this new position. I know the treasurer and the deputy treasurer are going out to backfill that position with the hiring process as we speak. Tammy has memorialized a lot of her job in manuals and cheat sheets that are going to help the organization quite a bit in her absence, try to take care of the historic knowledge that she's had. Next is a update on job description of the hiring of the county assistant administrator. So at the last meeting, the commissioners asked me to put together a job description, which I did. You have it in front of you, along with, I just also included my job description that I was hired under 10 years ago. At the end of the assistant administrator's job description, and this is the way I envision it, it's a draft, looking for your comments. I put my responsibilities that'll be left when the assistant administrator is hired. So it's quite a bit of stuff altogether. Luckily, we've been able to keep all the fingers in the holes in the dike and been able to get all this done. But I realize that I have been a choke point over the last couple of years with the great amount of projects and programs that the county's doing. This is a great investment in the future in being able to offer better regional solutions because it'll give us more horsepower to look at more options and also to assist the commissioners in their programs and ideas, bring those to fruition. So I give that to you. I just got it done today. I apologize. I could not get that out earlier. We had quite a week. But if you want to take a look at that and get back to me on any comments, thoughts, changes you'd like to see, I think the over-encompassing thought is that the assistant administrator is here to support the commissioner's policies and goals through reporting to the administrator. So as always, we are here to serve the commissioners, and hopefully you see that in the job description. I broke out specific duties as to what I would envision. These duties I came up with as duties that are easily bundled and we can manage and measure the assistant administrator's execution on them. So I think that's the reason why I came up with the mix that I did. And again, that's a draft and is readily available for discussion individually, or just send me comments and I can institute them.
Sure.
I think this is very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well done.
Thank you.
As much as
We'll all
I've seen.
review it.
Yeah.
You know, get if you have questions, comments, or concerns, or things you want to add
Yeah.
or subtract, get them into Frank within the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because I know we have the holiday next week, so.
Can I just mention one right now under minimum qualifications? See, a bachelor's degree is preferred. Can we edit that to include must-have bachelor's degree, public administration degree preferred? Because I think when you look at your next bullet there, minimum of 5 years supervisory experience, you know, you're gonna be hard pressed to have people with both of those qualifications. So it, to me, a minimum should be a bachelor's degree, but public administration is a preferred degree. That's the only thing that I see.
The reason why I did the preferred for the bachelor's degree is the third bullet on that list, which says experience in education can add up to basically trump the first two bullets. Now experience and bullet 2 are the same, so that's not gonna trump 2, but I see in a lot of the MMA meetings and a lot of other meetings, quite a few experienced administrators that have come up in because of they may be a little more senior or experienced. They don't have the education. They never went back on the education degree, but they have phenomenal skill sets and great experiences. So, but I understand the point, and it wasn't meant. My thought was, don't limit a high quality candidate out of the pool just because they don't have a degree paper.
Again, as someone who's actually going through the process of interviewing, there should be an economic minimum and not a bachelor's degree as preferred. I think the minimum requirement should be a bachelor's degree in public administration preferred, because that's specialized. I'm not disqualifying that you can't still do the combination of education, but I don't think a high school degree equals a bachelor's degree. I just don't see it.
Agree with that. Are the other commissioners okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, I noted that I wasn't gonna add the public administration
Yeah, it's just
component
a
to it, but I
preferred,
did,
you know,
I did want the preferred, I minimum bachelor's degree.
Great.
I'm agnostic on adding public. Ironically, I have a concentration in public administration, I'm not applying for this job, nor do I intend to. But I don't know too many people with a public administration concentration, but I'm ambivalent to adding it. We can add it if
I
you
mean,
want.
so why you put a salary range?
I would just put
be-
bachelor's degree, take out the preferred, like that's the minimum. I agree with Commissioner Hanley on that. And I'm agnostic to the public administration component. If Commissioner Wright wants to add it, then we can add it. If
Well, on that issue, Mr. Chairman, so will you give a salary range? An entry-level person
Yeah.
with a non-PA would be someone that
would be on the
be on the
lower
lower
end.
end. And if we don't have to train someone to be there because they have been predisposed to public administration as a concentration, then you'd be able to maybe attract a higher quality of
Sure.
candidate. That's
So I mean, we can add public administration preferred.
Perfect.
I think bachelor's degree and experience tells a lot,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they qualify to be hired is what
course.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all
And
good.
obviously we'll.
There's a
and-
timetable, Mr. Chairman, on when this is gonna post?
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying before, I think given that, you know, we have July 4th next Friday, with approbation, if you folks, well, put on the three of us, this is the first I'm seeing of this as well. I would say, you know, no later than July 11th, have any comments or additions you would like, so that way.
How about posting on July 11th, Mr. Chairman? If you recall, in our last meeting before the budget, I had brought this issue up on the need to get Frank on July 1, the brand new year. The money was subject to appropriation, which we agreed in theory without a vote, that if that were the case, we would be able to advertise as soon as possible. So for me, it's about the advertisement. Whenever we hire is up to us, but at least get it.
But this
with
part,
a
we need
date.
to advertise, that's the only
No,
thing.
that's what I'm saying. So can we advertise it sooner rather than later?
I mean, we can,
Because the date certain for hiring wouldn't be till whenever we decide.
yeah, I mean, you can get, I'm just looking at a calendar, we can get, you know, again, it's the summer, and I do want to discuss the July 17th meeting about maybe moving that because I have a conflict now, but you know, if you can get your edits in on this document, I mean, I've taken a quick look at it. I'm sure I probably have nothing to add or take out, with the exception of what Commissioner Hanley asked and I agreed with.
I'm ready to go as is.
Right.
With that amendment, so that's fine with me. I just would rather get the talent pool out there because other MMA people are I'm sorry, other advertisements in the MMA
Sure.
marketplace are.
The only
Fine.
thing to consider is obviously we're gonna advertise this job description. I think the last thing we're gonna wanna do is bring somebody in, interview them, hire them, and then decide we wanna start adding things, right? So I understand, I agree with the urgency, but I also wanna make sure that, and I'm fine either way, if the two of you wanna.
Well, you and I are in agreement right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I'm generally okay with posting this as it is, but this is the first I've seen it. I think my overall point, I'm not an employment specialist, but if we post this as it is, we hire someone and then we realize we may have missed something. Now they are gonna be ungraded, non-union, we're certainly able to open it up, but they might want more money, or they might, claim that that's all, but I mean, I think it's straightforward, so if, Frank wants to summarize it, I can summarize what I think this is, which is more or less supplementing and doing everything that he currently does, right? For the most part, with some specific.
Yeah,
I could tell.
it's petitioned off, and I
Right.
petitioned it off purposely,
Right.
so that it's measurable against delivery. So
Exactly,
it's a little better HR tool than
right,
you do whatever I want you to.
you're right, I was obviously oversimplifying, but, if there's, I personally don't have much of a, let's say desire, I don't see myself personally any need to go through this and make additions or subtractions. I did put some edits on the notice of vacancy, because I think that definitely is.
I do bring it
No,
up
that's
based on,
mine. That's what I was hired at.
Right, well, I figured that
For
out
10
after you
years
said
ago.
it, right.
so, Mr. Chairman.
So,
if I may, just.
yeah,
So the administrator made a comment today that he'd been so busy since this month that it was up until today that he was able to actually get to
sure,
this.
yeah,
And I don't think there is anything in here that would prevent us from hiring someone that, even if later additional responsibilities come up, if there is, is a generalization of
Yeah.
what may or may not be done. But unless it's contracted, there's no obligation to even abide by that. This is something to measure the people's interest. They're gonna look at this, say, well, I don't know if I can do this, that's the other thing.
yeah,
But the only thing here that would have to be amended would be must have a bachelor's degree. Public administration would be helpful to get that more qualified candidate, but
yeah,
in my opinion, if you can't get to the work of this now, and we agreed at the last meeting that once it was appropriated to get it out there as soon as possible, I'm ready to make it, unless you're not ready to make it. But I think if we made the motion tonight to at least allow you to post it, we'd be getting that much ahead of the game and getting you help sooner rather than later.
yeah, and I have no problem either way if that's gonna end up being a motion. Treasurer O'Brien.
Yeah, thank you. I just had a thought, I know Frank is, and I thought, wanted your opinions too, because, he put that together, and I think you were just about to ask him, were you looking for input from them? Or do you feel like it is where it needs to be, were you hoping there would take the time to add some comments?
Well, the wisdom and sage advice of the commissioners is always welcome, but I put a lot of thought into this,
Right.
and I think that, and you could tell, it's 6 pages, it's not,
It's all encompassing.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah, right.
encompassing.
No,
and
it definitely
covers
wasn't
skills,
slapped
and it
together.
covers
Yeah.
the execution and deliverables.
Mhm.
And it's particularly portioned out so that someone can be measured by it. So,
As a standard.
we know what the deliverable will be, and again, it won't be me down the road, but after a year, but you'll be able to find and measure this person. And I included mine from when I was hired, just to show you the
How much
level
has
of improvement the organization has undergone, and that's
Yeah,
in
for
all
sure.
departments over the 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
I'll put it in the form of a motion, Mr. Chairman, to allow it to be advertised and to get the process started. And then we can then come up with a process of how we're going to do the management of it. Who's gonna interview, what are the,
Well, we already did that
yeah,
a few weeks ago.
right,
So that
We
part's all
voted
set.
them in.
right, but then we didn't, it was between me and Sandra who was
No.
going to. be
No, that was
No.
on the other one.
That was on.
For this, it was
Tia.
myself, the treasurer.
Oh, on
and the
Tia.
administrator.
Yeah, it was voted.
So
It was voted.
you did the,
On Tia, it was all
all
volunteer.
right, I just didn't get that memo.
No, it's all right.
You were here.
Yeah, no, but
You
you
didn't-
hadn't
you didn't
committed
put
to
your-
it.
She didn't commit to it. I think she ended up. committing.
I never got.
I was unavailable the day that it was.
She did commit to.
Oh,
so
got it. Yeah, yeah.
I was
No,
not informed.
she ended up
of
doing
that.
them.
But
we
yeah,
are-
that's fine.
But we're
In
already
terms of-
settled on the hiring team for this position, so.
Yeah,
So what do you
That's
want to, I guess I'm a little confused here.
just
What
want
do you-
to,
what do you
made a
wanna do?
motion
He wants to
to
post this.
post this with the
Oh, this
must-have
whole- this
bachelor
whole
degree
page?
language.
All of it, yeah.
All of it?
Oh, Yeah.
And that's fine. That's a motion by Commissioner Hanley. Do I have a second?
Um, I guess I go along. There's a lot there. I was looking at this other one, the notice of position vacancy.
Yeah, that, I think Frank, I thought that you were posting this. I didn't realize this was just for comparative purposes, as you could tell.
Just to show you where we've
I
come
already
from.
edited this.
Okay,
So that was 10 years old.
A
That's what
one-page
you're right.
pre-qualification
yeah.
to a six-page.
you're giving me a 10-year-old.
Well, that was to show you what you hired me for.
So there's a
And now we're
motion.
hiring a
Right.
you know.
Which I will point out was an excellent hire.
Yes.
Yes, it
So
was.
Absolutely.
Yes, it
Nobody
was.
is criticizing this.
Yes.
It served its exact purpose.
Right.
Yep.
And I'll just amend it, Mr. Chairman, to get it in all of the normal advertisements
Oh,
like
yeah.
MMA, Marketplace and
I'll
all the
second that.
professional
Yep.
magazines.
Online.
Right, so the motion is, motion by Commissioner Hanley, second by Commissioner Wright to post job description with the one edit, to drop preferred off of bachelor's degree and add public administration. So it would be bachelor's degree, comma, public administration.
I'm sorry, one last thing.
Sure.
If you want to put a deadline on when those can be received,
Um,
when do you want to do it is the question. And
do we want to make that a hard and fast rule of a vote, or do we just want to?
So
Why don't you just
July is
wait
a
and-
terrible
Time to hire,
Why
right.
don't you,
Time
why
to-
don't you
yeah,
just wait and see what comes in? You
Right.
know, I mean. give it a
So
little bit
then
of
you would
time.
add until filled,
Yeah.
until filled.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna vote.
Motion, yes, motion by Commissioner Hanley, second by Commissioner Wright, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. That
And if I
is
could, Chair,
unanimous.
tomorrow I'm taking my last vacation day of the year that I
Sure.
needed to take. So,
Mandatory.
yeah, a mandatory take it, I'll lose it.
Yeah.
But if, when you read it this weekend or over the next couple of days, if you do see something that I missed or you'd like tweaked, just let me know.
Yeah.
Next is,
We do have next commissioners meeting scheduled for Thursday, July 17th.
Yeah, you were looking at that.
yeah, actually, I have, if I could share, I have one item before that.
Okay,
So that just came up at yesterday's meeting. So the Central Plymouth County Water District Committee, I think I had mentioned it a little before. They have purchased a $66,000 boat dredge, hydraulic boat
Oh, wow.
dredge. So it's basically a 4-inch hose vacuum cleaner that'll suck a bowling ball and put it 1,000 yards downstream. And it's a highly specialized product. They also bought a air-cooled outboard engine so that the mud from the dredging doesn't screw up the engine. That's another 17,000. And they bought a $15,693 mobile trailer for it. Because of their organization structure and because they don't have insurance, they have asked if the commissioners will accept it as accept title as gift for us to use in conjunction with, like our dredge, but in conjunction with the Department of Marine Fisheries being the primary operator of it. They will keep it on site, they will keep the maintenance of it. We will take title and insure it, and we'll get reimbursed for the insurance for it by the CPCWDC.
And an indemnification.
And indemnifications through an MOU.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So I just wanted to bring it up. They met, they voted to do that with your approval. And I'm hoping that you would say yes to it and accept, allow me to finalize the MOUs for indemnification, for liability waivers, and then accept the equipment so that we can then get it down to DMF to get working for the fall dredging season. This is another arrow in our quiver. It's a highly specialized machine, just like our current John Deere long reach, but it's gonna satisfy a lot of people's needs. It helps the fish, the anadromous fish to get into and out of the lakes.
May I, Mr. Chairman, point of order?
Sure.
We instructed the treasurers to stop using MCAS words when MCAS was voted off.
$20.
I believe he should be censured.
We should be
Mr.
fining
Chairman.
him.
I think he should be censured.
That was a Georgetown word.
That was a, once
So
again,
that-
confusing the
So,
public. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer.
So I'm sorry, so this is going to benefit us with, and add
Greatly.
to our dredge, right?
And give us $110,000 worth of equipment that we don't have to pay for.
Why are they, can we accept that as a gift?
Are we gonna house
Well,
it?
there's obviously the procurement steps that need to be taken. I
Yeah.
know that, but
They-
DMF will.
They will.
You need to vote to do it, but yeah.
Yeah,
So move, Mr. Chairman.
so
It's a
I
great
think
win-win.
that's great. I think
It's a
it's,
great-
yeah, I think
Huge
it's wonderful.
win-win for all parties.
And who put it out or who has it?
It's brand new. It has never been used. It's, they just bought it. But because they changed chair,
Yeah,
and they changed a couple of appointed officials, they're looking at it a little differently. And because they don't have insurance, and because they can't get insurance because of the,
Source of funds.
well, they don't have, number one, they don't have a mandated annual budget. And, but
Right.
more importantly, they don't have a way to, an organizational structure to get insurance. Cause
Right.
they're a state
Right.
created quasi organization that was created in 1964 based off of 1890 laws. So the insurance agencies don't understand what they are, and
Right.
they won't even.
they're not
quote.
recognizing them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but this is a win for us. And it ties the two organizations further together
Absolutely.
for a win-win.
So this would be an absolute plus for our pond management that would.
Exactly, as a
you
matter
know?
of fact, I talked to the treasurer about different ways that we might be able to work with the CPC, WDC. They need additional help
Thank you.
for things like grant management and other things like that. And we have potential time availability from a manager of CPC of the pond management. So it could be a bunch of wins in multiple fronts.
So would the recommendation be to memorialize the use of it as well?
So
As
we
part of the
will,
motion?
if you want to authorize me to finalize the utilization. The CPC already has an MOU with Department of Marine Fisheries in the state. We then would create a three-way MOU for the liability indemnification that I'll work with Shannon on. And then the utilization, DMF can use it in other areas outside the county, but it has to be approved in, it'll be the 7 towns and 1 city in the Central Plymouth County Water District will have first shot at it. The Plymouth County, the other 19 communities will have second shot at it, and then it'll go to the rest of the state.
In much the way you handle the disposition of the dredge.
Exactly.
it's by that need. So to Commissioner Wright's point, with respect to the other communities, can we memorialize that so that we are in that ranking?
Yes.
Spelled out.
Yep, absolutely. That will be in the MOU. That's one of the first points.
So is this something that Joanne, also, she's in that program too, isn't she?
So Joanne Zygmunt is in OCPC. That has nothing to do with any of this.
Okay,
She happened to be a commissioner at the
Yeah.
time, a CPC, WDC
Yeah.
commissioner
right.
at the time of authorizing its purchase, because she recognized the value,
Mhm.
but she thought it would just be utilized by them.
Okay. great, I think, and I think that's something that we should advertise. Or, you
Yes.
know, put a statement or something out, in the local papers.
So in the fall, I'm gonna do a roadshow. I did one down the Cape
Yeah.
last fall. The South Shore does not have as strong a harbor master association as the Cape and South Coast do. But we'll be communicating with, and David Gould has been, a great help from the town of Plymouth. And, head of environmental affairs and natural
Right.
resources. He's been a great resource and have recommended us. That's how we got our excavator dredge at,
Right.
Jenny Pond.
Can we
I'll
put it
put
in
that
the
in the
4th of
form of
July parade?
Motion.
You want a tank, you want a
Can we
tank
decorate it?
driving down,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why not? I'll
I've been
drive
behind
it.
some colorful vehicles in that
Yeah.
parade before.
I'll
The
drive
100-degree weather and humidity and exhaust
Yeah.
blowing in your face.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'll put it in the form of a motion to authorize the administrator to fulfill the contractual obligations that we just
I'll
discussed.
second that.
Motion and a second. All
Gladly
in favor?
second that. Aye.
Aye, and that is unanimous. Okay.
And I might just, not to further the, I think you probably need a vote to accept.
oh yeah, a separate vote to accept.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. Okay.
Very good.
All
Excellent.
right, next commissioners meeting scheduled for Thursday, July 17th. I have a conflict. We could do, I mean, I could do, and what makes sense? Do we want to do the 15th if it's keeping it that week? If not, we can move it to the 10th or,
Why don't we leave it to subject to the call of the chair, Mr. Chairman, because there may not be a need for a meeting sometimes unless we've got ARPA business to transact.
we can.
Well, the 31st, we have the county meeting, right?
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna.
because,
You're not gonna
Commissioner
be there?
Hanley and Commissioner, Chair Valenzola aren't able to make it.
On the
We
31st?
asked, and actually, Commissioner Mitchell, actually came up with a conflict. They're looking at new dates now.
Okay,
So the 31st is off the
Okay.
calendar.
We can leave July subject to the call. I would like us to get a meeting in July, I think, for just regular business, so that way things don't totally
Is
jack up.
17th the usual cycle?
It would be, yes.
It just requires 48-hour notice. You can,
Yes.
you can
Right.
post
Right.
it.
The 31st would be the regular cycle also.
You want to just do it, but you can't do the 31st.
We can't, why not?
so,
Oh, I don't know, I thought,
I
The
can't.
chair.
Oh, the chicken.
No, I'm in Nashville.
I mean, primarily, Tom, we convene so we can execute the business of primarily ARPA. I mean, when we have to have these mandatory ones so you can get them out.
I do always appreciate the opportunity with payroll and benefit vouchers to have one meeting a month, but I leave that to you. You guys are very good about coming and signing things when we need it, so it's. it is.
Subject to the
so
rule of
this
the
is the
chair.
week, no.
All right,
so
well,
the
so-
10th,
True,
True.
so we will
That's a good
cancel,
idea. You know,
About
that
the
is a better idea,
24th?
actually.
Is that in
Like,
sync
physically
with the
it wouldn't be,
payroll?
but it doesn't matter.
By Zoom.
Well,
It
we'll
would-
cancel the 17th and we can leave July subject to the call of the chair. August is scheduled for, I think we
The
scheduled. it to-
7th, oh no, the
14th.
14th.
The 14th.
So that one plan on, especially if we skip July. So plan on August 14th.
So as the summer goes in, we usually take a month off anyway, so. let's
Yeah,
just-
we try to. My personal belief has been the last couple of years, although to Commissioner Hanley's point, we had ARPA the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That taking the whole month off usually,
Didn't work out.
well, it just puts us at a 3-hour meeting the next month. So the work doesn't necessarily go away, but Commissioner Hanley makes a good point. We had ARPA back then. We don't really have ARPA now. But anyway, so the 17th.
Subject to the rule of the
is
chair.
canceled. Yeah, and we'll, if things start to percolate and the administrator and treasurer feel we have a full agenda, we will
We
call
called,
one in July. All right,
just not New Year's again.
I don't think we'll have to do that. All right, I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
Motion so moved.
Motion Commissioner Wright, second Commissioner Hanley,
Not-
and not to adjourn, not to return.
Not to adjourn.
oh,
We're gonna be here
Yes,
long.
we will adjourn eventually, but we will not return to open session.
Yes,
By roll call, Commissioner Hanley,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
and Commissioner Valenzola, yes, we are in executive session.
Still hot.
Is he gonna send out those forms?